everything that I've had in my life, I had to work for really hard, and have everything taken away.
I wouldn't mind being the world champ. I'll do whatever it takes to get there. If I don't get there, I hope somebody else from Hawaii does.
I want to win a world title before I retire, and I'm getting old.
Stands up, pulls in the barrel, Sennen Garcia. Well, what an mind-boggling to think that Sennen Garcia has won the Triple Crown 5 times. Well, that's it, and he's just unleashing some serious backhand dodges there, coming back into the whitewater, manhandling his way. Late behind. And there's your new 2000 world champion, Sennen Garcia.
Sennen Garcia demolished waves like a force of nature, winning a world title and 6 triple crowns. But what happens when the ocean's fiercest warrior faces an enemy within? From Hawaiian poverty to global fame to the brink of death. This is the story of a legend's spectacular rise, devastating fall, and the mystery that surrounds him today. His power was truly out of this world.
Such a dominant surfer here on the North Shore for the last 15 years.
Power.
Just raw power.
He's got a heart of gold. He is, I mean, you think of power surfers, you think of Sonny, and you think of a Hawaiian that made his mark on pro surfing.
January 14th, 1970. In the working-class neighborhood of Mā'ili on Oahu's west side, Vincent Sennen Garcia was born to a family of mixed heritage. Hawaiian, Filipino, Chinese, Irish, Native American, Puerto Rican, and Spanish bloodlines flowing through his veins. His mother gave him the nickname Sonny because of his cheerful disposition as a child, a brightness that would later be tested by the shadows of a challenging life. Sonny's early family life was complex. His father was raised in Makakila on the southwest side of Oahu, while his mother was a military brat primarily raised in Waipahu. Their marriage produced Sonny, oldest sister, and 2 younger brothers before they divorced when Sonny was just 5 years old.
I was born and raised on the west side of Oahu. It's a tough place. I came from a broken family. My parents were divorced when I was 5 years old, so I lived with my mom, my oldest sister, and 2 younger brothers. And we had a nice house, and we didn't have much money, but I was fortunate. I spent a lot of the time just at the beach and surfing, and I guess that was my way out.
Both parents quickly remarried, creating an extensive blended family. Growing up on the west side wasn't easy. It was tough, and money was always tight. At age 7, Sonny found the ocean. Living just 2 streets away from Mā'ili Point, the beach became his playground, his school, and his escape. I went to Goodwill to get my first surfboard, Sonny would later recall. If I wanted to surf Makaha, I'd walk 5 miles from Mā'ili to Makaha. No food, no nothing, just board shorts and barefoot.
From the time I was 9, I surfed my first event. I already had a clear goal. My goal was to be a professional surfer, to be the world champ.
By 14, he had already won the United States Surfing Championships. At 15, he dropped out of school in the 9th grade to turn professional, a decision that would shape the rest of his life. In 1986, 16-year-old Sonny made his debut on the professional circuit at the Gotcha Pro at Sandy Beach, Oahu. In a shocking upset, he defeated 1984 world champion Tom Carroll. The surfing world took notice. A powerful new Hawaiian force had arrived.
Whatever it takes to get there. If I don't get there, I hope somebody else from Hawaii does.
Even as a teenager, Sonny displayed the physicality that would become his trademark. Standing 5 feet 10 inches and eventually building a muscular 200-pound frame, his powerful physique perfectly matched his aggressive approach to wave riding. Success came quickly, but so did trouble. At 18, cocaine took over his life, resulting in a serious car crash when he wrecked his Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. It was the first of many personal battles Sonny would face while in the spotlight. But he recovered, and his ascent in professional surfing continued. The 1990s saw professional surfing transform from a counterculture lifestyle into a legitimate sport with significant prize money and sponsorships. As the sport evolved, so did Sonny Garcia. Between 1990 and 2000, Sonny achieved something remarkable, finishing every single competitive season ranked in the top 10 globally. His power surfing dominated the Hawaiian lineups, and his reputation grew both in and out of the water.
To me, that my whole reputation is, I think it's unfounded. I mean, you know, I've been into a handful of fights in my entire life. You know, you ask me if I like to fight? Yeah, I like to fight if there's a reason. I'm like everybody else, you know. I'm pretty happy, pretty laid back. You know, I like to enjoy, have fun with my friends. Do I like when people mess with me? No, I don't think anybody does. For the most part, I'm pretty harmless.
In the water, Sonny was feared. On land, he could be charming one moment and volatile the next. His temper became as legendary as his surfing. The combination of his physical presence and his willingness to enforce respect, especially in Hawaiian waters, made him an intimidating figure. In 1992, Sonny claimed his first Triple Crown of Surfing title, the prestigious 3-event series held on the North Shore of Oahu. It was the beginning of a record-breaking relationship with these hallowed Hawaiian contests. As his career flourished, Sonny started a family. He married his first wife, Angela, and they had 3 children, Kayla, Logan, and Stone. His fellow competitor and friend Kelly Slater became the godfather to his eldest daughter, Kayla. Despite their friendship, Sonny and Kelly were fierce rivals. As Slater dominated the sport throughout the mid-90s, Sonny seemed destined to remain in his shadow.
Starting to get a second win, you know, just recently got remarried. My wife's been incredible, you know, putting me on a diet and, you know, getting me, you know, just stoked to surf again. You know, I think it just has everything, you know, new marriage, you know, moving to Kauai. I've been, you know, enjoying surfing and training, and, you know, I'm in better shape than I have been, and I think everything's just been so positive that, you know, I've been happy. So, you know, and it shows in the results.
Sonny's personal life would see multiple marriages. After his relationship with Angela ended, he married his second wife, Raina, beginning a new chapter in his complex personal journey. Their relationship would also eventually come to an end, part of a pattern of personal turbulence that contrasted with his competitive success. The 1990s also saw Sonny become a polarizing figure for his protection of Hawaiian lineups. Visitors to the North Shore who didn't show proper respect often felt his wrath. "I love people to come to Hawaii. I love people to come enjoy Hawaii," Sonny once said. "Do I love when people come to Hawaii and they forget their brains somewhere else? No. I mean, you don't want me to come to your backyard and piss in your backyard, right? So, I don't like people coming and pissing in my backyard."
A lot of people will look at my life and judge my life and say all this thing, but they never lived in my fucking shoes. This is my life, you know, I'm doing the best that I can.
Behind the scenes, Sonny was fighting another battle for the financial future of professional surfers. Serving as president of the World Professional Surfers, the athlete's representative body, he lobbied to raise minimum prize money from $135,600 to $250,000 in contests. He understood the business side of surfing and knew these athletes deserved more. He didn't just want himself to succeed. He wanted to create a path for future generations of Hawaiian surfers. By 1995, it seemed Sonny had reached his peak. Failing to win the Pipeline Masters to claim the world title, he ended up finishing third behind Kelly Slater and Rob Machado. With young talent flooding the tour, many believed Sonny's era was over. But written off and underestimated, Sonny Garcia was about to make one of the greatest comebacks in surfing history.
I want to at least win one world title before I retire, and you know, hopefully this will be the year, and I can relax and, you know, just be me.
In 1999, Australian Mark Ochalupo shocked the surfing world by winning the World Championship at age 33 after his own comeback from retirement and personal struggles. Inspired by Ochalupo's triumph, Sonny moved to Kauai, and began training with young stars Andy and Bruce Irons. He shed weight, expanded his surfing repertoire, and recommitted himself to winning a world title.
Just stoked to surf again. I just, I think it just has everything, new married, moving to Kauai. I've been, enjoying surfing and training, and, I'm in better shape than I have been. And I think everything's just been so positive that, I've been happy. So, and it shows in the results.
The 2000 ASP World Championship Tour began with Sonny Garcia, a man transformed. At the season-opening Billabong Pro at Kira Point on Australia's Gold Coast, he came out swinging. Sonny dominated the event, claiming victory and making an emphatic statement to the surfing world. He followed it immediately with another win at the prestigious Rip Curl Pro Bells Beach. 2 events, 2 victories. The Hawaiian was not just competing, he was demolishing the competition. Sonny's aggressive power surfing proved unstoppable. By mid-season, he had built a nearly insurmountable lead in the championship race. Then, at the penultimate event in Brazil, 14 years after his debut, Vincent Sonny Garcia achieved the ultimate surfing accolade, ASP World Champion. The poor kid from Mā'ili had climbed to the very top of his sport. Upon returning to Hawaii, Sonny claimed his 5th Triple Crown title, cementing his status as surfing royalty. At age 30, Vincent Sonny Garcia had reached the pinnacle of professional surfing. But sometimes, the hardest part of climbing a mountain isn't reaching the summit. It's coming back down. As the new millennium unfolded, Sonny Garcia was at the height of his fame. A world champion, a PlayStation 2 video game bearing his name, appearances in surf films, and starring in the reality TV show Boarding House North Shore. But behind the scenes, trouble was brewing. Like many athletes of his era, Sonny had not managed his finances properly. For years, he had failed to report significant portions of his prize money to the Internal Revenue Service. In 2006, Sonny pleaded guilty to tax evasion. He had failed to report over $471,000 in prize money from 1996 through 2001, owing approximately $117,000 in taxes.
I just remember going to a meeting with my lawyer and my CPA, and told me at this lunch meeting that I needed to find a criminal tax attorney, and that's all they could say, and they both got up and left.
On January 12, 2007, Sonny began serving a 3-month federal prison sentence, followed by 7 months of house arrest and 80 hours of community service. The experience left its mark, literally. On his chest, Sonny had tattooed the words, "Death and Taxes."
Over the last 20 years, I watched Sonny mature as both a competitor and a person. He's had his highs and his lows, been a world champion, and of course, he spent time for tax evasion.
Everybody's pretty well aware that, I went to prison for tax evasion and tax fraud or whatever it was. I did 3 months in a federal prison in Bakersfield, California. I had time to read books, train, lose weight, and then followed up by another 6 months of house arrest in California. But basically what they did was they only let me out of the house to the event. So I basically went cold turkey to the event to surf. Then I moved to San Diego. I got a court order to surf at the Trestles event, to come out of the house and then compete against the world best surfers, not being in shape. And it was kind of a gamble, but because I wanted to surf so bad, I didn't mind looking bad to be able to surf.
As Sonny worked to rebuild his life post-incarceration, he found new love. In 2008, he married his 3rd wife, Colleen McCullough, seeking stability during a tumultuous period of his life. The relationship represented hope for a fresh start after his legal troubles.
My wife Colleen has been a really big pain in my side as far as, really trying to get me to change my life and change certain things. And, I think just, being able to try different things has mellowed me out a lot, and I see things different. I mean, I'm still very, very, very much the same person, and I'm fighting it as much as I can, but you know, I'm a little more open to things, so it's made my life a lot easier to, you know, to be able to look at things in a different way.
Following his release, Sonny attempted a competitive comeback. In 2008, despite being 38 years old, he moved into the top 10 of the World Qualifying Series rankings. His final ranking came in 2010, after nearly 25 years on tour, an almost unprecedented longevity in professional surfing. That same year, Sonny was inducted into the Surfing Walk of Fame in Huntington Beach, California. 5 years later, he would enter the Hawaii Sports Hall of Fame. As his competitive career wound down, Sonny devoted more time to charitable causes, particularly those focused on children and Hawaiian culture. He worked with the Mā'ili Foundation, taking children with genetic diseases, mainly cystic fibrosis, surfing.
Kind of speechless. Like everybody else, I didn't write any notes. I thought I'd just come up here and wing it. But I'd like to thank Ian and PT for putting me on the national team back in '83, taking a chance on a kid that came out of Waianae. And, you know, he says a lot of good things about me, but back then I was just a little punk. You know, I came to Huntington Beach in 1983, the first time I ever left Hawaii. And I was stoked to surf this place because it was just sand. You know, we don't get very much sandbars in Hawaii unless you surf Eukai. And, you know, I got in the national team. I actually went to Huntington Beach High School because my grades are terrible for summer school, so I could be in the national team. So, you know, I spent quite a bit of time here in Huntington, so I'd like to thank all the people from Huntington for being always very supportive of me. You know, hanging out, trying to grab boards, wax, whatever I could get. Carl Hayward let me hang out in his shop, so I got, you know, some past here, some really good stories, but I'll save that for a different day. You know, I have a lot of people to thank. You know, Randall Kim, when I turned pro when I was 16, you know, helped me turn pro, got me, you know, got Billabong to pay for my tickets. I think Town and Country gave me like $600 a month. You know, I started the tour very poor, but very stoked to be getting paid to surf. So, you know, geez, I choked up for words. I just, you know, very, very happy to be here. You know, I'd like to thank my sponsors, you know, Affliction and Rockstar. Those guys, you know, after my little paid vacation in the federal penitentiary for a little bit, you know, those guys really came, you know, and backed me up and, you know, gave me a second chance at professional surfing. So, you know, I was a little down and out. You know, I lost my sponsors, pretty much lost my life, and for them to give me that second chance with Zoom. Thank you to everybody. Thank my wife and my kids. They really sacrificed, you know, their lives, you know, for me to do what I love to do. So, you know, thank you, Kyla, Logan, Stone, my wife, Colleen. Thank all you guys. You know, I'm just gonna keep it short. I just want to say thank you. I'm very honored, and you know, congratulations to the rest of the recipients today. You know, this is a great thing. So thank you guys for coming out. Without you guys, this is not possible.
Got inducted into the Walk of Fame here in Huntington Beach on Main Street, so I don't know, I'm pretty stoked. Choked up for words, so you know, I don't know what to say. Never one for trying to look for fame or anything, or you know, looking for any kind of anything for that matter. You know, I just like to surf and have a good time, and you know, be inducted like this is an honor, and you know, very humbling.
But as Sonny stepped away from the spotlight, the man who had conquered the world's most fearsome waves was about to face his greatest challenge yet, the undertow of his own mind. For decades, Sonny Garcia had battled external opponents, competitive rivals, legal troubles, and the ocean itself. But in the quiet moments after his career ended, an internal struggle emerged that would prove far more dangerous. In 2014, Sonny made a candid confession on social media that shocked many fans. Depression is no joke. Waking up feeling like you're ready to take on the world, then a couple hours later feeling down on life and wondering what's wrong with you. Well, I know I'm not alone, and I'm not sure what's wrong with me because I have no reason to feel the way I do, and it's been happening for about 2 years. Sonny later revealed how severe his struggle had become. 3 years ago, I won an event on the North Shore, being the oldest guy to ever win a QS event. Driving back from Sunset Beach to my house at Pipeline, you know it should have been one of the happiest times of my life, but the only thing I could think about was driving my car into a pole or something.
The key to happiness, I don't think there really is a key, just, the best thing you can do is just live your life, and not be so concerned with what everybody else thinks. There always seems to be like one helicopter, like when you're doing an interview. I'm sure it's like, Sonny Garcia's doing an interview, let's buzz the house.
Despite his internal battles, Sonny found joy in his expanding family, particularly his role as a grandfather. His first grandchild was named after him and learned to surf with his guidance. "I have grandchildren now, and I want to live a good life," Sonny said. "I want to be able to have fun with my kids and watch my grandkids grow old. When I was younger, I was like, if I die young, that'd be fine. But that all changes when you get older." On April 29, 2019, shocking news broke across the surfing world. Sonny had attempted suicide. He was hospitalized in Portland in critical condition as the surfing community rallied around one of its most iconic figures. Kelly Slater posted, "I love you, brother. I just can't even fathom you not here. We've got so much more living to do before we are done." Vincent Sonny Garcia's journey transcends the world of surfing. It's a story of triumph over humble beginnings, of falling from grace and seeking redemption, of battles both external and internal. His legacy in competitive surfing is secure: a world champion, 6-time Triple Crown winner, holder of the record for most WQS event wins, 22, and the second professional surfer to win over $1 million in prize money. Beyond statistics, he helped elevate the financial status of professional surfing and pave the way for future generations of Hawaiian surfers. Perhaps his most unexpected legacy came through his openness about mental health. "I encourage people to reach out," he once said. "Depression is an illness that I know a lot of people deal with, and a lot of people don't know how to reach out and get that help. But man, when you finally do reach out and you get that help, you feel so much better. The ocean doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care about your reputation, your achievements, or your struggles. The waves come regardless." But for a time, Vincent Sonny Garcia rode those waves better than almost anyone else. And in doing so, he showed us both the heights of human potential and the depths of human vulnerability. A Hawaiian legend whose greatest legacy may not be his world title or his 6 Triple Crowns, but the conversations he started about mental health in professional sports. Proving that true courage isn't fearlessness, it's feeling the fear and fighting through it anyway, one wave at a time.